I'm Coyote Peterson. Welcome to the Desert Millipede versus the Desert Centipede. Venturing into the nighttime desert is not for the faint of heart, as this cactus-strewn ecosystem is laced with a plethora of nocturnal predators. Whether it be scorpions, spiders, that right there is a black widow, sulpugids, or vinegaroons, these arachnids are certain to be on the prowl as they use the cover of darkness to silently hunt for their prey. Look at that! Does that thing not look like an alien? All arachnids come equipped with 8 legs, and most are also armed with a set of fangs or a venom-injecting stinger. That is the most venomous species of scorpion in the United States. And he's on my hand. Alright, this makes me a little bit nervous. I want to see if I can get him to just sit still. However, if 8 legs, fangs, and stingers aren't enough to scare you, Arizona's Sonoran Desert is also home to a subphylum of creatures with even more legs, the Myriapods, which consists of centipedes and millipedes. At the end of the day, both of these animals do their best to avoid humans. However, today we are going to capture one of each, so we can get them in front of the cameras for an up-close comparison. First, let's talk about the Desert Millipede. Now, millipede means 1,000 feet, and each one of these little body segments has 2 pairs of legs on it. Now, there's no way that I'm going to get underneath this creature and count its legs, but I can tell you from it crawling across my arm that there are a ton of them tickling me right now. It feels like a bunch of little tiny pieces of Velcro grabbing onto your arm hairs. Despite the name, there isn't actually a species of millipede on the planet that has 1,000 feet. On average, they have around 400, with the record being 750, more than any other animal in the world. These myriapods have very poor eyesight. They have very simple eyes up front, so they're really using these antennae to help them navigate through the environment. And you'll see as he dances up in the air like that, he's basically looking for what his next move is going to be. If he can't feel anything with those antennae, he's kind of like, whoa, whoa, I've run out of road here. And until he bumps into something that he can walk on, he's just going to stay put until he can get those front legs planted. Now, the millipede doesn't have many predators, and that's because these little myriapods are actually poisonous. They do have glands that run along the side of their body, and if they are really, really threatened, they will secrete a nasty orange fluid, and it absolutely stinks. I actually got it all over my hands the other night. Now, if you get this poison on your skin, all you need to do is wash your hands with soap and water, and you'll be just fine. Now, I'm completely comfortable with millipedes. They don't bite. If it doesn't bite, it can crawl all over me all that it wants. But the centipede is a whole different ball game. And we're gonna get that guy out in a second and get a close look at that venomous little desert dweller. The desert millipede is virtually harmless to humans. And if you encounter one in the wild, just admire it from a safe distance. Okay, now we're on to the part of the episode that I have been dreading. There is no good way to do this. You just have to plop him out and go for it. All right, here we go. Ready? Oh boy. Now he's kind of like, oh, I'm on the ground and I'm on the move. Desert centipedes can inflict a very painful and venomous bite. So I stress, never attempt what I am doing. Okay, there we go. Now that I have his head under control, and more importantly, those fangs, I feel a lot better about this situation. Oh, look at how creepy that little desert creature is. Now what's really interesting is that the centipede means 100 feet. Each species of centipede varies. There's no way that this one has 100 feet, but as they continue to grow and their body segments elongate, they grow more legs. Now, one major difference between the centipede and the millipede is that the centipede has a very flattened body. This allows them to fit into crevices between rocks and allows them to glide very quickly over the surface of the desert. Now, these are voracious predators. They are out here right now walking the washes and searching through the rocks for other animals. They will eat bugs, they will eat scorpions, they will eat lizards, and the ones that grow to the size of the giant desert centipede, they will even take rodents. but the bite from a centipede of even this size is going to put you into some incredible pain. That's why I want to be as careful as possible while handling this myriapod. One really interesting feature about all centipedes is that you see the back end here, this rump. You have these two modified legs on the back end here, which have little hooks in them. Now, this back end is pretty much a false head. It's the same color as the head is, and these two little modified feet on the back end here have hooks on them. So let's say you're a predator and you're coming in, you're like, all right, I'm gonna get him, I'm gonna bite his head right off. These little modified feet go up in the air, boom, and you get pricked with those little spikes. Throws you off guard, the centipede spins around, and that's when you get a bite from those venomous fangs. This is not a creature that is very easy to consume. Centipede venom is not considered deadly to humans. However, the pain has been said to keep a full-grown man on the ground and in pain for several hours. Moral of the story? Steer clear of centipedes. I hope everybody enjoyed this comparison, the desert centipede versus the desert millipede. Both species are native to the Sonoran Desert, and I suggest avoiding both because the centipede is venomous and the millipede is poisonous. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. Both of these myriapods play an important role in the ecosystem. And while they may be creepy and have a gazillion legs as compared to you and me, always try to remember that they are going to use each and every one to run in the opposite direction. If you thought that comparison was cool, check out the alligator snapping turtle versus the common snapping turtle. And don't forget, subscribe to join me and the crew on this season of Breaking Trail.